So we make sure that our doors are always open. We have kids that graduate that come back to Marshall and want to look for a job, and they'll sit down with our career navigator and see what job is available. So we don't want to leave anybody behind.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Brighter Together podcast. My name is Janet Courtney, and my special guest today is Malcolm Pittman. Malcolm is a student success coordinator at Marshall High School in Middletown, Ohio. Malcolm, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So, Malcolm, tell us a little bit about how you became a student success coordinator, and then tell us a little bit about Marshall High School.
So my whole dream, I go all the way back, is my dream since I was 14 years old to work in education. I started working with kids at that age, and I started finding a real passion for working with kids. So that, ever since then, I had a dream of, I want to play college basketball and then move on to play, to coach and also teach. So ever since then, I've been preparing for that, which led me, after playing college basketball, graduate performance in college in Ohio, go Quakers. Um, we after I was able to graduate and then go into work in Dayton Public Schools as a Algebra 1 teacher. I left that to be a eighth grade teacher at Dayton Early College Academy, and then went from there to Southwest Ohio Prep, which is a little bit of a charter school in Cincinnati, and I went from there and I got to Marshall High School. I started at Marshall as a math teacher. I went from math, and then I did math and social studies. But in the midst of that, my mentors, my principal, Mr. Hall, Chuck Hall, and one of our principals at the sister school in Hamilton, Kelvin Moss, they really got in my ear about, I needed to be get my master's and as well as my dad and my mom. So along with them
Mm-hmm.
and my whole family getting on me about getting my master's in education and administration. So one of the midst of that are, because we're a charter school, we're able to relabel positions. So instead of saying this is an assistant principal, they may say, this is a student success coordinator, or dean of students, or whatever the different position is.
Right.
And so what ended up happening is, the person who was in my position before he stepped down. So when that position opened up, they already knew that I was in the midst of studying for my master's. They were like, well, this is open. And we had a conversation and ended up getting, taking that position. So it's kind of how I got to be student success coordinator and that was back in, this is my third year as student success coordinator at Marshall High School. Marshall, we're a credit recovery school in Ohio. So we're geared towards kids who, not even just kids, we go from 15 to 22.
Okay.
Um, and then we'll have kids from all over different walks of life. Middletown is a huge poverty problem. And we
Yeah.
got a lot of kids who come from that area who, a traditional education just didn't just work for them. So they go to us and we give them a, flexible schedule, and opportunities for them to get a career tech certification so that when they leave out of here, they're able to get a job and move on. So we just give them opportunity to be able to be successful. So I love what I do. I've been here since 2019, and I just absolutely love it here. And I feel like I do a lot of good and cool things here, like, coach basketball, do do clothing pantries, do help with food drives, things like that. So I get a lot of, huge chance to kind of serve, serve our students.
Nice. Yeah. I love that. And they have, you have Middletown is the
Mhm.
home of our Vice President, J.D. Vance. And if you've read Hillbilly Elegy, it's Middletown is just such a Middletown America. I mean, it just is middle America. It's halfway between Cincinnati and Dayton, and
Mhm.
they always called it a bedroom community when I lived there. So it just to have that legacy there for your kids too is just that anybody anybody. He came from poverty
Hmm.
in Middletown. These kids that you're serving, that could easily have been him had it not been for his grandma and the support he had, right?
Yep, and he's been a huge inspiration in this community. We have different clubs and different things, the programs we work with, and one of the programs we have is Middletown Youth Council, and then the youth council where they have their meetings at is actually right by one of JD Vance's offices in Middletown. So it's pretty cool to be able to have, be able to, the kids be able to see that, to be able to look up to, people like him, not just professional athletes, but also different people around, different walks of life they can look up to.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fantastic. So, about how many kids do you have at Marshall?
We have about 410 kids.
Not a
We
small
have
school. You're not a small school then.
but as funny as we are because we typically serve because these are kids with poverty issues, with academic issues, attendance issues. We have kids with various stories coming around, and so we kind of meet them where they are. We
Yeah.
do have a small school feel to us because we'll
Oh,
have
nice.
we typically have about 6 to 7 academic classrooms, and they are filled with about 13 kids each. So, and then we also have career tech areas, and they have about 5 to 6 kids each session. So typically, we have around 100 kids each session. We have two different sessions. We have
Oh,
a
I
AM,
see.
so we have
Okay.
an AM session and a PM session. AM is from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. and then PM from 11:30 to 3:30. So we get kids who we're just trying to adapt and meet them where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
We even also offer online programs, um, tutoring. We try to just meet them where they're at because these kids go through. I just dropped off a few kids at their house, and they live in very rough neighborhoods, and we just want to make sure that we provide every possibility for them to be successful.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll take the 11:30 to 3, please.
Well, I'll take 7 to 11. So
You're a
and the kids
morning,
the,
I'm
kid,
in
the
an
kids know
afternoon.
that. Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm not a morning person. Never have been. My husband and I mean, I'm awake. I get up at 6:30 in the morning, but I'm not functioning well until about 9. Don't ask me to make any major decisions before 9 in the morning. That's
Well,
funny.
I'm normally a little tired after about 2:30. That's when most of our kids are
Yeah.
out the building. I'm like, all right, we made it.
Yeah,
We're
exactly.
almost there.
Awesome. So you're helping them to get caught up because they're behind in credits, and you're
Mhm.
helping them to graduate from high school, but also you're helping them to find a next, right? What's
Mhm.
next after high school? Not just doing high school and being done, but finding a path for themselves. Is that correct?
Yeah, so we have a career navigator. That's his title,
Okay.
and what he does is we have connections with various community organizations, different companies, things like that. So between me and our community navigator, we have worked with different organizations, different companies, along with our career tech teachers. They work with different companies to find opportunities for these kids after high school. So for instance, we have different career tech tracks. We have culinary, which is ran by our chef who's actually on season 21 of Hell's Kitchen. Her name is Mindy Livingood. She does a great job. And I know we have our construction teacher, Mr. Al Goyeb, our healthcare teacher, Mr. Jessica Shoemaker. We give them our business teacher, Miss Leslie Reese. We give them ample opportunity to give them a chance to get a job. Those teachers I was named off, as well as our former construction teacher Tim Warhoy, they will like sit down with these businesses along with a career navigator and form these partnerships so that when a kid is to a certain point in their career tech, they're already working for somebody
Mm.
before they even graduate high school. So we have people working for furniture stores already, for manufacturing plants already, for nursing homes. They're already working now, And then as soon as they sign the paper saying they're graduated, they're already in the field.
Nice.
So we try to give them, an opportunity to do that, as well as our career navigator, Joe Snively. He also gives a huge, one of the biggest things he does is after he follows you up with our graduate students, even up to a year after graduation. So we make sure that our doors are always open. We have kids that graduate that come back to Marshall and want to look for a job, and they'll sit down with our career navigator and see what job is available. So we don't want to leave anybody behind. We even allow kids to finish their medical assisting certification after they graduate. So we have our healthcare. You can finish your phlebotomy certification. Then so I got physician assistant. No, patient care. Sorry, it's patient care. You finish their
Okay.
patient care certification, and after that, you have our medical assisting certification. But some of the kids will be graduated by then, and some of them we will allow kids to come back and finish those too. So
Nice.
the kids are you're gonna find a job when you go. You get done with Marshall. You're gonna find one. That's a guarantee that not just us, but also Oakmont, the company we're under. Overall, all our schools are built like us. That you're designed for. You're gonna graduate, and we're gonna find you a job. We're gonna find you your next. You're not gonna do this alone.
Right. That's amazing. That's amazing. So, what does your graduation rate look like then?
Typically, so that is one of the toughest questions. I know people ask me that all the time because we have it's a dropout recovery school.
Right.
The as far as we do use cohorts to track different groups for graduation. Typically, since because it's such a passive thing, we really don't track a graduation rate. We more track. One of the things, the measurements we take is the amount of kids do graduate total, because Marshall's designed to graduate at your own pace. We've
Right.
had kids come in at Marshall at 15 and graduate at 15. We have kids who come in at 16 and graduate at 17. We've had kids come in at 15 and graduate at 22. It just depends on the situation on that kid. So typically, like last year was our biggest graduation with over 100 kids graduated. Um, Typically, the last few years I've been at Marshall, we've had a typical graduation would be around 60 kids, around 60 kids. This year we're anticipating around 80 kids.
Nice. Yeah.
So because the way Marshall is structured too is there's kids that won't find out they'll graduate until maybe the day of, because there's still
Wow.
so many requirements to fill out that you need to do that. At traditional school, you're already doing those requirements, so it's not really a big deal. But our school, you're doing it in such a rush, you have to go get these things done.
Mm-hmm.
Because if not, you can still stay here for longer.
Occupational therapy shouldn't be one more thing on your plate. It should be a solution. Lighthouse Therapy offers school-based occupational therapy services that actually work for you and your staff. Our OTs have an average of 16 years of experience in schools, and they support everything from handwriting to fine motor to sensory integration. And you can choose from 3 different service models, whether it be virtual, hybrid, or in person. It's OT that fits your workflow without the chaos. Visit lighthouse-therapy.com/brighter together to learn more. Right. Yeah. But these kids would not have a place if it hadn't been for schools like you. So how long has Marshall been there?
It has been open since 2013, and it used to be a school called Life Skills.
Okay.
And then I will not be sure what an actual date, but they moved from Life Skills on one side of the town of Middletown to this building I'm in right now. It used to be Aldi's, and they moved to this building
No
here.
kidding.
And and around, I want to say, I think it told me like 2016, 17. So this building has been through a lot. It's been a lot of changes. We've added rooms. There used to be like 4 or 5 classrooms, and then we had our career tech areas, and we moved on. Now we have, our manufacturing is built like a mini factory right now. Our healthcare room is built like a doctor's office. Like we have
Oh, nice.
the
Yeah.
high, we get the latest technology right now at Marshall. So this building has been through a lot in the last few years. But yeah, we started. I know Mr. Hall, our principal, he started us off in about 2013.
Nice. Very nice. So, what would you say is your favorite part? What is the thing that you love that you get to do the most?
Just build relationship with the kids. I mean, it's very different than a traditional school. I don't have to go in there and one of the things I explain to people is the boundaries, things that you would normally have to go through as a traditional school. Those, yes, you have boundaries and professional boundaries and things like that. But these kids, they don't need necessarily a person to lecture at them about algebra two. They need somebody to talk to about what just happened to them last night. You
Right.
know, why am I dealing with these trauma? Why am I dealing with all these things? So, I love that I get to wear various hats. I can be the guy that's on them heavily. I can be the nice guy. I could be their uncle. I could be, I can be whatever they need at the moment. I can be that for them. And that's one of the cool things I love about Marshall is Mr. Hall gives us the opportunity and leeway to do that. I've been able to see kids at their worst. I've been able to help provide for families. I've been able to, do a lot of good for the community as a whole,
Yeah.
but we've been able to get food for kids. We've been able to get clothing for kids, help them with housing, help them with jobs. We've been able to help a lot of different kids, and it's been amazing experience at Marshall. I would not, give it back for anything in the world because I could, really help a lot of kids. We've had kids that we had one girl in particular that she had no idea what she wanted to do after high school. She worked at Walmart and she figured after high school, I'm going back to Walmart. It doesn't, I'm just going to try to get this diploma. And we've got her to be in student council. We got to be here to be the captain of our basketball team. We got her to be, um, go to prom, all these things that she didn't want to do. And then she ended up now, she's at Miami University right now, finishing studying to be a nurse. And
Nice.
she would never have, and we have a ton of kids who are just like that, where they would never have thought they would do more than what they're doing now if it wasn't for, Marshall and to be able to build relationships.
Yeah, so you get to be a mentor. You get to be somebody
Mm-hmm.
that they can look up to and somebody who's been through college and has
Yeah.
did you have you finished your masters? Did you finish your
Yes, I
masters yet?
did. So I have
Very
finished my
good. So,
master's and my
yay.
principal license. So that was a big burden off my
Yeah.
shoulders.
It's hard. It's hard work. It's hard work.
It is.
But kids see that too. They
Mm-hmm.
see that you're doing it just as much as their life is hard. Your life is hard, but yet you just keep doing it. You keep stepping into
Mm-hmm.
it, right? You just you don't quit. You don't quit. Even when it's hard, you don't quit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. The kids do see that. So it's pretty cool for them to learn those lessons.
Do some of the kids also go into the military through you guys? Is that something that they can do or no?
Yes, we do. I'm really proud of those kids too. We've had two kids in the past 2 years that went to the Marines, and we're starting to get a lot of kids who are interested in going to the Army. Those are our two biggest branches we partner with. But we've had a lot of kids that are interested, especially in the Marines.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. My son right now, it is April 28th, guys, for those of you 2026, because this will come out in 6 weeks. But my son right now is in basic military training at Lackland in San Antonio. He's joined the Air
Wow.
National Guard, and he wants to go back to school and
Mhm.
he wants to fly. So, but you can't go into flight school unless you have a degree. So, and he's one of those kids. He worked for me for a while. Didn't really. He was a COVID grad, right? So 2020 didn't love online school.
Woo.
Yeah. So and now
Yeah.
he's about to be done. 2 weeks from today, we're heading over to San Antonio to cheer him on as he graduates. So super
Congratulations.
excited.
That's a huge accomplishment.
Yeah. It's fun. I'm one of those crazy moms. I've been writing him a letter every day. It's hard to know what to write every single day. I told him, I said, Mama's going to give you a verse and a joke because you need God and you need some laughter.
Amen. Amen.
So he's got a girlfriend and she's real serious, and they both live up in Michigan, but he's down here right now. Well, she's flying in and we're just super excited. I'm so proud of him. So proud of him.
That's super exciting. That is super exciting.
It is. So seeing those kids, the same thing. I'm sure you guys have that same pride. You work so hard with these kids. You see them coming from awful situations and they persevere through it, and then they're successful and they stay successful. And that absolutely makes it all worth it, doesn't it?
It does. It's one of the things that keeps me coming back to Marshall, keeps me motivated, especially at this time. This is our push to get kids to graduate. And honestly, it's one of the best feelings in the world. And you see, like, our kids can get done at different points. So we have kids who, they can be technically credit complete, as we call it. They can be credit complete by, in the middle of the year. And so that kid is, done with school. And those are the best feelings in the world when a kid comes to us and says, hey, I'm done. I finished. And those are one of the best feelings in the world, as a kid comes in and says, hey, I finished. I just want to say, I want to say thank you for everything you've done. And, to thank all the teachers that helped them on the way. And one of the other best feelings in the world, too, is like, our graduation is very different than most people. Instead of getting a graduation speaker, we have what's called a rose ceremony. So a kid will grab a rose, and then they will be able to go to the mic and say who really impacted them. And a lot of them will say, what makes me really happy is they'll say the teacher. And I'm like, one of the teachers they work with closely, I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. Or they'll say, their parents or things like that. And it's really cool to see, to know their story and to know that what this kid went through, and to know, okay, these people are the people that really did have an impact on them. So it's really cool. I get to see, a lot of kids walk the stage. I get to see a lot of kids, conquer a lot of things that have been going on with them, and, get a lot of wins. So like I said, I can talk all day about Marshall, but I love just what we get to do, and, well, I've been blessed to be able to be in a position to just help these kids do more in their lives, because a lot of them wouldn't even think that this was even possible.
Right.
We have a lot of kids who, this is the first time they even get to, this is the first person in their family. They might be the first person in their family who graduates high school.
Wow.
We get a few kids like that. And so it's really cool to see those kids be like, you know what? I didn't think this was possible, but I guess it is possible. I guess there's more that's possible.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Malcolm, where do people go if they want to learn a little bit more about Marshall or have questions for you? How can they find you?
You can look us up at Marshall High School, Middletown. You can also look up Oakmont Education. That's where you'll find a lot of things about us. We also have a Facebook page under Marshall High School, Middletown. So we have various, but Oakmont's an overarching company that's in charge of us. So if you want to find anybody like us, you go under Oakmont Education. But if you want to find, just look up Marshall Middletown. Just look up Marshall High School, Middletown, Ohio, and you'll find us. Or our sister school, Marshall High School, Hamilton. They're the same thing as us, our sister school. Ran by Kelvin Moss, who does a wonderful job over there as well. Those are those are both of us are the same under the same under the same Marshall name.
Awesome. Yeah. And Oakmont, is it OAKMOUNT?
OAKMONT.
MONT. Okay, good.
Yep.
Good. Yeah, because I wasn't 100% sure. And if you're listening, I want you to have the right, because spelling was never my favorite.
Hey, neither is mine. That's why I love the spell check.
Me too. Spell check, Grammarly, gotta love them.
Hey, Grammarly's been my best friend.
Yeah.
So.
For sure, for sure. Well, Malcolm, it has been an absolute pleasure. Keep doing the hard work that you're doing because you're changing the world.
Yep,
You are
hey,
just, yeah.
yep, not just us. Our whole staff is doing a great job. Our staff, all our teachers do a wonderful job of being in these kids' lives and having so much of a positive impact on them. Um, to even before I even they even get to me, the teachers are doing a wonderful job of not just providing education through our because we use an online curriculum so kids can get through it faster. So teachers
Mm-hmm.
not only are just assisting them through the online curriculum, but they're also just providing, life advice, giving them opportunities to get out the bill, find new things like field trips. Like our teacher, Mr. Russ, has taken them to, what did he take them to? He took them to the Underground Railroad Museum before, Duke Energy Museum before. Our other teacher, Ms. Sharp, she took the kids to Newport Aquarium. Um, We've had our another teacher, he taking the kids fishing for fishing club, Mr. Feltus. So we have a lot of cool things the teachers get to do that are really helping the kids just get out of their shell and do a lot of cool things around.
Awesome, awesome. Well, it's so great to hear, and I just love
Hmm.
the fact that you guys have such passion for those kids, and giving them an opportunity that they wouldn't have without you, for sure.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
thank
Yes.
you.
I love it. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad that Brighter Together could be here to help you guys get that story out there because it's a story that needs to be told. It absolutely does. So, and thank you for your time and being willing to come on and tell this story because it's an excellent story for people to hear. So thanks.
And no problem. Thank you for having me.